So for those of you who've been following this channel, you are well aware my green streak that lasted for nearly 40 days, where I nearly tripled my account in just 40 days, has officially ended on Wednesday, where I had a small red day. And then on Thursday, I had a small red day. And if you've been a long-term follower of this channel, you are well aware in terms of my red streaks, they typically end after the second day. So in terms of today, I am currently 6 for 7 on the day. I had five put option trades on SPY. All of them are wins. And you're probably wondering, how is that even possible? How did I even trade 5 times SPY put options today and win every single time? This is something in terms of the trading style that just can't really be recapped or explained. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a gift every single day live at market open. I trade with my members within Trader Society. I'm going to show you guys the recording. It's going to be the second link in the description where you get to watch the recording of the live trading stream, and you'll get to see the vast majority of the trades that were made that day. I had one trade off stream, which was another great trade on SPY put options where I made a 15% profit return in a couple of minutes, which is truly incredible considering, what happened with SPY today. Most people who play put options most likely lost money today, but I'm 5 for 5 on SPY puts. 3 of those puts were quick 10% wins, and they would have been 20 to 30% wins if I went with the high risk contracts. But I understood that the bulls were in control of the macro, and I saw some really good in and out micro scalping opportunities that I wanted to take advantage of, and I played it safe. For the most part, all the contracts that I played were very, very safe. They were March 21st at the money or in the money strikes. You'll see and you'll hear the commentary within the live trading stream. It's going to be that second link in the description. But in terms of SPY puts, if you were to play puts today, you would have to be, your timing would have to be perfect. Your entries would have to be impeccable, and you would have to choose very, very safe contracts because the theta decay is going to be working against you like crazy as the bulls are in control for the macro of the move and the contracts aren't expiring, right? So with that being said, I literally played them perfectly. I couldn't have done a better job in terms of like SPY put options today. I got in, I got out very, very quickly and took the profits. And my portfolio is currently up nearly 5% on the day, which put me, which already recouped the losses from the short-term trading account. From Wednesday and Thursday, those 2 red days, the losses have already been recouped, and the portfolio is nearly up 15% on the week. And it's, like I said, basically tripled within the past 40 days. So that's just something. I'm not going to be recapping the trades today. That's just something in terms of these like short-term micro trades. You just have to see it to believe it. You really do. You have to see it to believe it. But in terms of some of the puts, I played puts right around here. It had a very nice pullback where you can make a quick 10 to 15% within that. I believe I played puts right around here as well. Yeah, I played puts right around here as well. And I literally got out as soon as this went green on this candle right here. I literally got out towards the lows. And then I played puts right here for a quick 15%. Those were like the top 3 put trades on the day. Like I said, quick 10% wins. You can see it on stream. Now, where do I see SPY heading for the time being? And how have I been taking advantage of the macro side of the move? For those of you who who've been following this channel, you are well aware that I recently changed macro bullish on the market. That is something that I've definitely changed. I've been macro bullish on the market since March 16th. That's when I became macro bullish on the market. Now, how have I been taking advantage of that? I bought Shopify at $638 yesterday. I'm still holding it. Like I told you guys, we're going to start seeing a lot of these stocks that have been beating down, like Shopify, from nearly $1,800 to $500 in just like 5 months. It's extremely oversold. And I showed you guys the pattern from the previous video on Shopify. It was that same pattern that we used on Tesla quite a while ago. Shopify had some key resistance right here at 540s. Massive crash, drops nearly 40%, and then it rips for all-time highs. So this was just at 1800, and now it's bottoming at 500s. So what do you think is going to happen? Instead of this big downside move, now that that's support, it's going to be a big upside move, and stocks are going to rip, right? That's one of the confirmations that I used along with the SPY. But yeah, I'm long on Shopify since $638, and I'm going to continue to hold it because within time, not saying right away, stocks could see a pullback for the micro, but within time, Shopify is going to continue to explode. It's just going to take time. It could be sooner, it could be later, but the reality is it's just going to happen. Same thing with Facebook. It's going to happen. It's going to continue to explode. We got gaps to fill. They're all extremely oversold. And it wasn't too long ago, we're just 1 month ago in February. These stocks, were literally priced like the returns right now are crazy. You could be making 30 to 50% from February's highs. It's absolutely insane. Another one is PayPal. So we talked about all of these within the previous videos. The ones that I took advantage of was Shopify because that's my favorite chart pattern right now. PayPal is another one. Like I said, we're gonna start seeing for the macro stocks really pushing back up to fill their gaps from the February crashes. That's the reality of the situation. It's either gonna happen sooner or later, but it's gonna happen, and it should happen this year. So I'm just buying and holding, and then on big pullbacks, I'm looking to add. But yeah, so that's that. In terms of SPY, like I told you guys for the macro, 2 videos ago for the macro, SPY is heading to fill this gap. There's a gap to fill on SPY right here at $464. That's where this is going to be heading this year. Before we crack $410, SPY is going to be ripping to 464. One of the ways that I adjusted for the macro, I invested nicely into Shopify. So moving forward, we are going to start to have to adapt because things are very, very bullish macro right now. Like I said, if you can't be holding puts and stuff like that. You can't be, if you're playing puts, you got to get in, you got to get out, you got to use the best strategies, use the best prices like I was doing today. And that was very, it's very, you have to be very strategic. If you watch the live trading stream today, you will see how strategic, how disciplined, and how patient I was with SPY in terms of the way I traded and the confirmations and how I clearly called it out. As stated, if this turns into support, the previous closing price, as soon as it hit the previous closing price, it had a breakout. If it turns into support, SPY is going to fill the gap from 466.60. And look what happened. It shoots up to fill the gap. That's how price action works. If the gap fills and it doesn't have a reversal and it reacts as a support level, instead of having that reversal, it's going to continue to go up to fill the next gap. And this was all clearly called out. And I played puts very, very sharply. Like I said, to even be green on SPY puts today is truly amazing. You'd have to literally time it perfectly, choose the right contracts, buy towards the tops, and then sell quickly into the crash down. And that's exactly what I did. I did it here, I did it here, and I also did it right here. And they were all very nice, quick 10% plus wins. And I went with the safe contracts. If I went with the high risk ones, the timing was so perfectly, I could have done it, but I wanted to play it safe because the macro trend was bullish. But if I went with the high risk contracts, the ones that expired today, those would have been 30% wins. But like I said, I was playing it safe because the macro trend is bullish. So we're definitely going to have to do some adapting within the strategy. Now, what do I think of SPY into the micro? What do I think of the micro situation right now? So looking at the daily, we have a gap to fill right here at $446.60, right? So if the SPY can react as a resistance level at 446.60, that's going to be a great opportunity for the micro put, as there's huge downside potential for the micro, right? So it is a level of interest for, again, doing micro puts. With that being said, another pattern that I'm currently looking at on the SPY is something like this. You see how it has 4 green days in a row? See how it has 4 green days in a row? Very similar pattern. It's just kind of slanted uptrend. What starts to happen after that? It gaps down right here on Monday, and then it just consolidates, forms a new channel, rips back up, fills this gap from where it gapped down, and then it crashed. So that's what occurred last time this pattern occurred. SPY did gap down on Monday. Right here, I believe this was a Friday, and then on I believe it was a Friday, maybe not. Okay, so it wasn't, but the pattern was the same. So that's a possibility. The possibility is it gaps down on Monday. That's one possibility with that current pattern. If not, we're just going to have to wait to see how it reacts at 446.60. If we can see some resistance form at 446.60, it's going to be good for a micro put. Now, what happens if 446.60 turns into support and it starts breaking out? How high is it most likely going to go? We're going to be on track for at least 452. 452 to 453 would be the next level. So I just want to see how things play out at this 446.60 level and see how the SPY reacts. We're definitely due for some sort of micro pullback. But what I'm telling you is at some point, this big macro move, I mean, it's already been occurring, but at some point in terms of like to be continued, it's either going to happen sooner or later. But the point is it's going to happen. So you have to be extremely careful and very strategic, trading moving forward. It's just the problem with micro calls right now is they're so expensive because SPY just went from 415, 413 in the pre-market all the way to 445. So it's an overreaction. But at some point, this macro, like this is that macro kicking in. At some point, that big macro move is gonna continue to kick in, and it's just really gonna rally. But I don't want to go chasing calls either. So I'm looking for micro opportunities to buy a put. As of now, we gotta wait towards 446.60. That's what we gotta wait towards. But yeah, stocks are gonna continue as time goes on. Not saying right away, but as time goes on, all of these stocks are gonna continue to rip up and start to fill their gaps this year. There's plenty of great investment opportunities. The one that I chose was Shopify because I like the chart most. Shopify isn't going to be the most percentage rewarding one, but it just makes sense, especially at these key levels and buying and holding. We alerted this within the watch list at $515. I literally said, this is another thing you can do. Look at take a look at this. Take a look at this chart. SPY had a gap to fill at 416.25 right here. People were asking me when to buy calls. I told them if you want to buy SPY calls, buy 416.25. You don't have to follow my alerts. You don't have to follow just use the strategy. Oversold, big upside. We're due for a macro move as well. Buy them at 416.25. That was literally the bottom. It bottomed at 415.79. With that being said, and you can go back, that's all my previous videos. With that being said, look at what happened and had a gap close reversal on March 14th. See how it filled the gap and it had a reversal on March 14th. Now look at Shopify. Look at what Shopify was doing right here on March 14th. It filled the gap just like SPY, and then it started to reverse. So when you see it having that gap close reversal and that green day comes in, you buy it and then you hold it. I was late to the party on that. I didn't play it. I didn't play it until 638 yesterday. But it's doing fairly well. I'm going to continue to hold the position because I'm extremely bullish for the macro on the market. That's why I'm continuing to hold Shopify. But yeah, for SPY, we're just gonna have to really wait and see how it reacts. In terms of this 2-day trend, SPY basically did the same exact thing as yesterday, except this time instead of going red, I went green very, very nicely, recouping my past 2 red days in the day trading portfolio. With that being said, SPY has a gap down. It fills the gap. Once it turns this previous closing price into support, it ramps up to continue to fill the next gap. It did the same thing. SPY gap down. It filled the gap. Once it turns the previous closing price into support, it goes back up to fill the gap. So you have to understand, and guys, I'm telling you, if you watch this live trading stream, you're truly going to understand how this strategy works. Because when you don't get a gap close reversal, so meaning if SPY is a gap down and it fills the gap, and instead of having a reversal and it starts breaking out, reacts as support, see how this previous closing price is now support, it's trending up, see how it's forming higher support. When that happens, it's not going to have a reversal. It's going to have a one-sided move. It's going to continue to go up, and it's going to continue to fill the next gap that's waiting to fill above, which is at 446.6. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's a one-sided move strategy, meaning if it doesn't have the reversal, if it doesn't have the gap close reversal, it's just going to keep going in the same direction it came from prior to closing the gap, which was an uptrend. So you have to really be able to identify. You have to give it some time and figure out, is this going to be a gap close reversal, or is this going to be a gap closing go? I don't like playing gap close and goes. I like playing gap close reversals. The reason why I like gap close reversals is those are going to be the overextended overreaction micro moves. For example, there was a very nice gap close reversal right here on the call side. This was the time, if you didn't buy calls at 416.25, this was the time to buy calls on the SPY when it had this 10-point crash, filled the gap, turned bullish, and then Powell starts pumping the market. That was the time to buy the calls. So I have to work on my call side in terms of buying. Technically, I don't even have to buy calls if I don't want to. I could just sit on the sidelines and wait for a put opportunity, kind of what I've been doing. But I did take advantage of the macro by buying Shopify. But in terms of my analysis, the price action analysis has been on point. And you'll see, if you watch the videos, if you watch the live trading streams within Trader Society, especially today's, you'll see how accurate the price action analysis is. At the end of the day, my goal is to really teach you how price action works and how to trade the best setups at the best prices. So you can go out into the market and do it on your own. Like I don't want people trying to blindly follow my alerts. I don't want people sitting here and looking at the will alert section and trying to follow my alerts. That's not going to be the goal here. I'm trying to teach you and educate you on how the price action works so you can take full advantage of it, on your own. So you don't need to rely on anyone else. So you understand, where your money is going into. So you understand, oh, that makes sense, with my account size. Oh, I understand. I have to get out here. Um, you have to understand how this stuff works. You have to understand how the strategy works. You can't just blindly follow anybody's alerts. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it off at that. We got to see how SPY reacts towards $446.60. That is going to be the key moving forward. We're due for some sort of micro pullback, but we're also due for something like this again, where the bears just get slaughtered. We're due for that too. So it's like you got to be extremely careful and extremely strategic. For the micro, we're due for a pullback, but we're also due for another big move up in stocks as well. Because, like I said, PayPal, like Roblox, Roku, all these stocks are extremely oversold. And within time, if it's not like for the micro this week, within time, like it's going to happen. They're going to retrace back to the monthly highs. That's where they're heading. The monthly highs on Shopify were towards, more towards like more towards February. They're going to retrace back towards like mid-February highs. That's where they're really on track to go, towards mid-February highs. Shopify is just bound to go to $780. So yeah, that's my thoughts. That's my analysis on that. I'm going to make another video on Sunday preparing you guys for upcoming setups. But right now, I'm just interested because this is going to be a key level for micro make it or break it on the SPY, to see how it reacts, to really see how it reacts at 446.60, because that's going to be that key potential gap close reversal level. Another theory that I do have is when Shopify hits $780, that's going to be, I think, a great opportunity for micro put options on stocks. When this rips to about $780 right here, that's going to be a great opportunity to buy some micro put options on potentially the SPY, on potentially other stocks. So that's another key level I'm using. But yeah, guys, this is my thoughts. This is my analysis. I really hope you do watch that live trading stream. It's going to be the second link in the description. If you do want to, use some of this weekend to really study, to really learn, and to understand how the gap trading system works, how I'm able to, how we're able to be consistently profit within the stock market by, trading stocks, trading options using this gap method trading system. And it also includes, not just lessons on the gap trading, the price action strategies, but also risk management, position sizing, psychology, and the mindset to trading. You do also get lifetime access to the chat room and to the members within the chat room, where you could send me or them a personal direct message. You can add them as a friend as well. And you do also get access to the live trading streams that we do every single day at market open. You could probably imagine, like, it's, if you just watched my video yesterday on SPY and you played puts, you may have not made money because you didn't know exactly like how to play it, when to exactly get out, or when to like exactly, like, there's confirmations in terms of timing and stuff like that. I went 5 for 5 on SPY puts today. So you do get access to those live trading streams at market open. You get access to the watch list. Our watch list is killer, man. I was literally saying to buy Shopify at 5 when it goes above 520 to buy the breakout. And now it's in the 720s nearly. So yeah, you get access to that. And you also get access to the daily stock analysis, the real-time trade alerts. There's a lot to it. So if you want to learn more about it, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. You get instant access to everything. It's a lifetime access for a limited time. Eventually the prices are going to go up. One day it might be a lot more expensive recurring, which is, if you get it now, you're grandfathered in for a lifetime if it becomes recurring in the future. So yeah, it's going to be that first link down below in the description. You can really start using, use some of this weekend to study the lessons within the video lesson library. If not, then study some of them on YouTube as well. Make sure you watch that live trading stream. But yeah, once you're ready to really take your trading to that next level and to surround yourself with that community who's using these gap strategies, it's going to be that first link down below in the description. Just remember, guys, success comes from pondering, from working hard, from working smart, not from partying. So if you do want to use some of this weekend to really study, that's going to be within that first link below in the description. And you can also watch the YouTube videos as well. So I will see you guys within the next video on Sunday, and I will see you guys within Trader Society live at Market Open. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out in the chat room, send me a direct message. I'll be replying over the weekend. Thank you guys so much for choosing your time to invest into your education.